Hey guys, Daryl Dyke, Noble Mortgage, founder and CEO of Noble Mortgage and Investments. Hope you are doing well on this Wednesday and staying dry. We've had some nasty weather all week, but I think we needed it. That heat was starting to bear down on my plants. Anyway, here for your market update. Also here to give you some tips on how the draws work on a hard money loan. We always get lots of questions about that. So first and foremost, I hope everybody is staying safe, washing their hands, masking up, things like that. I wanted to also just touch base on mindset this afternoon rather, because I think mindset has been suffering here lately in the world, and I think it's important to really focus on that. And I had this talk with my team recently. I think when COVID-19 hit and we had the lockdown, I think everybody just kind of stopped in place and was waiting for it to go away. And so we had that three-month kind of period where everybody was watching Tiger King and getting stimulus checks and okay, we're going to make it through this, we're going to get out of it, and then we slowly start reopening Texas, and then now we see where we're at today, where the number of cases have been climbing. So the fact is that this is not going away anytime soon. And so the message that I gave to my team was, look, some of you are working from home, some of you are working in the office, some of you are going back and forth, and so everybody's schedules are different right now, but that doesn't matter. You have to get used to where we're at right now. The most important thing right now is you have to stay productive. Okay, we still have a job to do. We have to stay productive. We have to stay positive. We have to exercise. We have to eat right. And so I think that initial 3 month, everybody got away from that thinking, okay, we got a little break here. Well, it's not going away anytime soon, so I think it's very important, especially for real estate investors who are always fighting for deals and always pushing to make sure that deal works, build more rentals and flips and so forth. So that's my positive message for the day. What's going on in the market? Not much has changed. We are seeing turn times I had a call come in. We are seeing turn times get a little bit shorter on the conventional side, which is good. All the rate and term refinances have really built up and caused these lenders to slow down. Again, beating a dead horse here, rates less than 3% on a primary residence, less than 4% on an investment property. If you haven't refinanced, don't wait, take advantage of that now. Still doing very well. Hard money loans, we are seeing a pickup in hard money, I think, in the last 30 days. The market we had a turnaround in June. I'm not sure how the market's going to look in July. I think June is going to be an anomaly personally. I think that spike was due to some of that pent-up demand from May and even March and April. So I think probably see a little bit of slowdown in July and August, but we still had a really good month. Housing is still doing really good in Houston and Texas in general. Inventory number is the only number that I'm keeping an eye on that's low. We're not seeing a lot of new listings and inventory remains low. So hopefully that we'll see a little bit of turnaround on that. But we are seeing more people start to use the hard money programs that we have, again, for building rental properties, portfolios, getting up to 100% financing, starting to see investors dip their toe in the water a lot more on flips. We're also starting to see a lot more new construction. Since there's not a lot of housing available, new construction becomes a lot more viable option for some investors, especially the experienced ones who maybe haven't done new construction from the ground up, but they've done just a complete rehab. So that's kind of a natural transition for a lot of investors. Maybe they start doing a little new construction as well. So that's interesting to see. And then, of course, the non-QM, our non-QM lenders are still around. These are the loans that are built for investors that don't want to document their tax returns or submit their tax returns, but can still get long-term lending. These loans are getting better and better all the time. We're still seeing 30-year loans in the sixes with nothing more than typically a decent credit score of 660, 670, something like that. So very good. We're also seeing some of the non-QM primary residence loans come back around. We have bank statement loans for people that are buying a house for the first time, maybe cannot document their income the traditional way through tax returns. And so we have a 15% down payment bank statement loan where they're tracking your bank statements for anywhere between 12 and 24 months, and you're basically just adding up your deposits. So that's a positive sign. Before this week, it was typically 20%. Now it's at 15%. So more positive sign on the mortgage side. If you haven't been going to our virtual events, you please need to join us for those. Those have been a huge success. We're so happy we decided to do this. We started our virtual networking, which was great. We do a Zoom call. We have everybody on. So the last one we did, it was great. We had our biggest turnout ever. And typically I bring on a guest speaker and I'll speak a little bit on financing. And everybody has a chance to introduce themselves, talk about what they're looking for, maybe a service they're offering. So please sign up. Our next one is next Tuesday, July 28th at 11 a.m. We're going to have a seasoned investor that we've done a ton of flips for. So those typically are really good. He's going to share his story on exactly how he got into the business, what he's learned, what he's doing now, things like that. So it's going to be really, really exciting. So excited to have him on. He's a really good guy, and we love working with him. So next Tuesday is our next one. Our webinar, which was this week, big thanks to Matt Trenchard who joined us. That was a huge success, our biggest webinar ever. Matt was talking about how to find a deal, and I was discussing how to finance a deal. So we've had a lot of requests for that, and we delivered it on Tuesday, and it was a huge success. So if you have any more that you want us to cover, any guest speakers, any topics, anything like that, just let me know. You can always send me an email at askdarrell@noblemortgage.com. That's ask, ASKDAREL @noblemortgage.com. Tip of the day, we get questions a lot on hard money loans in general, but one of the biggest questions we get is, how do the draws work? And so you need to understand this process for yourself. You need to understand this process for your contractors. And keep in mind, it's going to change from lender to lender. So make sure you ask these questions. So number one, I would ask, how often and how many draws can you take? Some lenders may only allow you to take them on a certain day of the week, certain day of the month. Maybe they limit the amount of draws. So make sure you ask these questions. Here at Noble Mortgage, we're very, very flexible. You can do it any day of the week. We don't have a limit on the number of draws, but there is a fee that's incurred every time you do a draw, and that's the same with every lender. So number one, ask how much that fee is. Our fee is typically $125 to $150, so very, very reasonable, depending on where it's at. If it's way out in Conroe or Galveston, it might be a little trip charge that the inspector charges, but make sure you ask that question of your lender. How long it takes to get your draw. Very, very important. This is one of the points that we put into our 5-point guarantee. And if you're not familiar with our 5-point guarantee, go to our website at noblemortgage.com, and it shows our 5-point guarantee, which has to do with customer service. And draws are a big thing, especially if you're doing multiple projects. You want to make sure you can get that money in a timely manner. So we have a guarantee that we will have your draw, the money in your account, within 3 days that you request it. So we have to have time to get the inspector out there. We will wire the money within 3 business days, which is huge to help your project keep moving forward. And then lastly, a lot of questions we get is, can I get a draw if the work is not quite finished? So let's say you're asking for a roofing draw, and we go out there and they're not finished with the roof, and you're like, well, can we get like half of it? So, every lender is going to be different on this, and I'll tell you how I do it, and I'll tell you how I do it. Number one, I'm looking at what is the work being done? Is this a skilled trade? Is it paint? Is it electrical? Is it foundation? What is it? So if it's a highly skilled trade like roofing, electrical, foundation, we are not going to give it a partial draw. And I'll tell you why. It's because if something happens and this project stops and we have to get a different foundation company or a different electrical company to go in there and do the work, a lot of these contractors will not do it. They don't want to go in behind somebody else. So that's why we don't do partial draws. If it's something like paint, something simple, yeah, we could do that. That's not a big deal. We can always find someone to paint. So anyway, that's how that process works. I do have one question from Joe. What about owner-occupied refinance with excellent credit? Again, Joe, rates are less than 3% right now for owner-occupied with excellent credit, depending on if you want a 15-year or a 30-year. So give us a call if we can help you out with that, Joe. 713-680-8100. We'd love to help you refinance your primary residence. Anyway, that's all I have today. The last point I'm going to say is it's Leo season. All my fellow Leos, rejoice, reunite. It's finally here. Our birthday month has come, so all my early Leos are starting this week in July, and then of course the August ones come here in a few weeks. I personally am a Leo, which is why I'm bringing this up. I will be 50 next month. I can't believe I'm finally going to be 50. Don't feel like I'm 50, but big birthday. Unfortunately, not big celebrations that you can go along with it right now, but I am excited. I am planning a trip to get out of town. So I hope everybody's doing well, stay safe, and I will see you guys next Tuesday at our Rev meeting. Bye-bye.